You're listening to Her Brilliant Health Radio, episode number 27.
She used to deliver babies, but now she delivers exceptional wellness for women. Welcome to Her Brilliant Health Radio, where holistic women's health expert and board-certified OBGYN Dr. Kieran Dunstan shares revolutionary insight from leading experts on what you need to know today to treat the root cause of disease, heal, and create the radiant health you've been searching for.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kieran here with another episode of Her Brilliant Health Radio. Please help me welcome a special guest today who's going to talk to you all about your mouth and your skin, because these really are foundational in terms of your health. And many of us are doing things unknowingly that are harming us in terms of obtaining optimal health. And so please help me welcome Trina Felber. As a natural oral and skincare wellness expert, RN Trina Felber is the inspiring best-selling author of Beauty's Dirty Secret and the creator and CEO of Primal Life Organics, a premier all-natural skin and dental care company that focuses on microbiome and oral health as the gateway to overall internal health. Trina teaches how antiseptic products we use in our mouths and on our skin are doing more harm than good, and shares with you exactly what to do about this for stronger, cleaner, whiter teeth and improved overall health. Please help me welcome Trina Felber.
Thanks, Dr. Kieran. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, and I immediately wanted to have you on the podcast when I learned about you and what you do, what you teach, what you offer people, because this is really where mainstream medicine falls down, because oral health, I agree, is the gateway to our immune system. And you're going to talk about a lot of these things. So if you're listening and you're wondering, what is she talking about? It's the gateway to the immune system. So I immediately wanted to have you on. But first, I'd like you to share with everyone, because I'm curious to know, you're an RN. How did you get to where you are from being a traditionally trained RN?
Well, it's really, I say this is just an extension of my nursing care. And it's actually even better for me because I get to reach people all over the world and actually improve their health in a way that's completely different than standard nursing, but really the same. And like you said, your mouth is your gatekeeper to health. And I always say, we've heard the saying, good health begins inside your mouth, but most people don't even fully understand what that means. I say it starts in your mouth, and that just might be where it ends as well. And if you have any signs of internal inflammation, if you have any problems with diabetes, heart disease, other types of inflammatory diseases, including immune system and gut issues like leaky gut and Crohn's and colitis and things like that, there's a good possibility that just by changing your mouth, you could actually improve all of those other situations because it starts inside your mouth. And I'm excited. This is like my favorite topic. But how does a nurse go from nursing to this? So my oral care products, I'd been making skincare products before I started making my oral care products. I got into the oral care products because as a very healthy person, after suffering a miscarriage at the age of 40, I started to scrutinize everything in my environment because I felt like I was healthy and doing things right. And knowing that I, might not have been able to prevent a miscarriage, but if there was something in my environment that I could change because it was toxic or hurting me, I needed to know. So I just started opening my eyes and reading all the labels. And one morning, luckily I was pregnant again at that point, but I was reading the label on my moisturizer that I was putting on my face and realized that it was loaded with these toxins that I knew could pass through to my baby. And I thought, wow, this could be how toxins are getting in. And at that point, I wasn't even thinking that it was going to be destroying other pieces of me that I was just thinking about this baby growing inside me. So I started making my own skincare products. They were working fabulous. At the age of 40, I had acne all over my face and could not get rid of it for the life of me. I'd had it since I was a teen. Did everything under the sun that everybody else has done and more. And it never went away. And when I started making my own skincare products, my acne disappeared like almost overnight. It was probably 2 to 3 months. My skin normalized, it looked beautiful, and I started working on getting rid of all my scars. And then my daughter, my daughter was born very healthy. At the age of 2, when one of her molars came in, it erupted through her gums. There was a cavity, a natural cavity in it, which was bizarre. My husband and I were brushing her teeth and we're like, what is that? So we immediately took her to the dentist, who looked at it and said, it's a natural cavity. It happens sometimes during development in utero. A lot of times it happens during a point when that tooth is being actually developed, that the mom has like an infection or a cold or a virus or something like that. So there's nothing you could have done about it. He said the tooth has a pretty good cavity in it. He goes, we're going to have to put a temporary filling in it, but I don't expect this tooth to last more than a year. He said, so let's just hope for the best. And I thought, hope for the best? Are you kidding me? So I started doing research. I thought, you know what, if I can give this tooth the best chance, what does it need? And lo and behold, I discovered Dr. Weston Price, who was a dentist in the early 1900s, very ahead of his time with the things that he discovered. But I used his research about dental health and came up with a formula for a remineralizing, alkalizing tooth powder. Both of those things are super important when we talk about dental health and overall health, and we'll get into them more later. But what I did was create that, and that product really launched. People started using it, getting great results. My daughter's now 10 years old and still has that same tooth with that original filling. So it's really helped her, and it's helped millions of people.
Well, let's get right into it, because that's a fascinating story. And a lot of people may or may not be aware that babies are born, they actually have all their teeth in there, and they can be born with dental problems already. And if you think about it, that in utero milieu is what's affecting their whole development, including their teeth. And so the toxins that we put on our skin and in our mouths do end up in the baby through the uterus and the placenta and the blood flow. And a lot of them cross the placenta, even though there is the placental blood barrier. A lot of toxins do cross and can cause problems like this. So you gave a great description about what you did for your daughter. Talk a little bit more about that, and how it helped her, and how it can help people listening, and why it's so important.
So when I talked about the tooth powder being alkalizing and containing minerals, those are the two components that you really, really want for different reasons. So when I often say the ADA has us all brainwashed into believing that we brush our teeth to clean them. You don't need to really brush your teeth to clean them, because your saliva, if you are healthy and doing things right, your saliva is actually, it's got a couple different components or reasons, functions of the saliva. One of the functions is to actually neutralize the acids in your mouth and clean your teeth. And if you're making enough saliva, technically you're cleaning your teeth. A brush and water will actually clean your teeth just as well as the toxic stuff I call toxipaste, without any loaded chemicals. So really, my opinion is the reason you need to be brushing your teeth is to alkalize the acids, because if there's acid in your mouth, and most foods are acidic, if there's acid in your mouth, there's causing demineralization, which means the minerals are leaving your teeth. And it's gonna, for anybody that's watching the broadcast, you can see right behind me, there's a tooth that has this big black spot. So that's demineralization down to the cavity, a cavity. But it starts at the surface of the tooth that you don't see and often don't feel. But it happens daily when there's acid in your mouth and there's bad bacteria in your mouth. And we'll get into the formula for a cavity in a minute. But so you want to create that alkalizing pH inside your mouth, neutralizing those acids, and you also want to have minerals present. When there's alkaline pH inside your mouth or more neutral pH, that's when the minerals can go back into your teeth. So a lot of people think, oh gosh, you can't heal a cavity. There's no way to heal a cavity. I've been told by my dentist, you know, you can't heal a cavity. Well, if you continue to use the products that you buy off the shelf that don't have any minerals in them, that cause an acidic environment inside your mouth and actually kill all of your good bacteria, we can talk about the mouth biome in a minute, but that kill all of your good bacteria in your mouth, you will never, you're right, you will never heal a cavity, because I can give you the equation for a cavity and you'll see very clearly that what we've got out there on the market is actually promoting tooth decay and internal inflammation. If you reverse that formula and create an alkaline environment with really good bacteria inside your mouth, you actually can heal a cavity. And if you think about it, a cavity or a tooth is the same type of composition as bone. So if you believe that you can heal a fractured bone, then you should believe that you can heal a cavity. The difference between bone and your enamel or your tooth is the environment that it lives in. Your bone primarily lives in a neutral environment where the pH is very stable and it's not exposed to a fluctuation in toxins and pH on a daily basis. Your mouth, on the other hand, is full of toxins and chemicals and bacteria and virus and fungus and things like that. And it's usually because of the foods we eat and the way we brush our teeth has an acidic environment. And that will create cavities, inflammation, gum disease, heart disease, and internal inflammation that leads to other things. And when you talked about babies, I want to just go there for 1 second. Okay, so because babies, the mother's mouth care, or I usually say when you if someone opens their mouth, you can tell what their internal health looks like. It basically is the doorway. A physician or a doctor can say, open your mouth, and they can tell you whether you have, they might not be able to tell you what you have wrong, but they can tell you that you have internal inflammation by the condition inside your mouth. The condition inside women's mouth during pregnancy correlates to baby's health, directly correlates to baby's health. In fact, poor dental health, and I don't mean hygiene. Hygiene's different than health. Hygiene means you're not brushing your teeth. Health means you might just be using the wrong things and you have the wrong environment inside your mouth. So poor oral health actually correlates to low birth weight in babies. And here's another interesting fact about babies. When I say the immune system starts inside your mouth, this is the gatekeeper to your immune system. Babies are developed in a sac that is sterile. So when babies are technically born, before that sac breaks, they have a sterile entire body, entire mouth, entire digestive system. And what I want to propose to people is to stop thinking that your digestive system is in your body. Start thinking about that whole tube that runs from your mouth to your tail as outside your body. Everything will make sense if you can convert your thinking, because we all know that there's biome or microbacteria that exists everywhere outside of our body. And that is our protection. It lives on your skin. It lives in your vagina. It lives all through your tail, tongue to tail. It lives in your nasal passages. Everywhere you have a biome that protects you. If you start to believe or think about your tongue to tail as outside your body, you will then begin to understand how you need to create health. So when a baby's born vaginally, women have normal, healthy vaginal bacteria or microbiome inside their vagina that keeps them healthy, but the baby is exposed to that during a vaginal delivery. That is that's their first exposure to anything, and that exposure they get inside their mouth and their breathing areas, and that creates their microbiome. It sets it up for them to stimulate a microbiome inside their mouth. When they swallow, one of the functions of your saliva is to swallow and take whatever's inside your mouth down into your gut. So the whole purpose is to carry good bacteria from inside your mouth to feed and seed the bacteria in your gut to grow healthy bacteria. Here's where we've had issues, or this is where the issue begins when we start to use in products that kill 99% of germs. What they're doing.
You've covered a lot of ground. I just want to highlight a few things.
Yeah.
Tremendous wealth of information, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to share the vital information that you're sharing with people, because they need to know this. And I just want to highlight a few things. So I help people to understand that the digestive tract is really outside of them. I ask them, well, what is your biggest organ? And most people now are savvy enough to know, oh, they say skin. But then I actually help them to understand that because they're taking the outside environment and putting it inside of them, that essentially the gastrointestinal tract is an external organ. And if you take it and you lay it out as you would your skin, you've probably got two doubles tennis courts. So it far surpasses the skin. And really our relationship with food is our most intimate relationship, and our immune system is organized around that tube because our immune system is designed to protect us. And if that's our largest external organ, and most people at first they say, what are you talking about? Yes, it is. Then they've got to address that. And I just want to highlight, because I know everybody listening is saying, do I use a toxi paste? Am I a toxi paste? So can you, before we go forward to talking more about the microbiome, help them understand if they're using a toxi paste or not?
Okay, yeah. So I have it for viewers that are watching this. I have Toxipaste, a tube of Toxipaste. It just basically is your toothpaste, and it most likely, if you're buying it off the shelf at a store, and what I'm going to describe might actually not everything might be part of a natural. So if you say, oh, well, I use a natural toothpaste, I'm going to give you some clues as to even whether a natural toothpaste is actually doing you any good, because the whole idea is to rebuild your enamel inside your mouth and your microbiome. So some of the ingredients to look for, like if you're using a name brand that you've been using for years off of the shelf, a lot of times they include, first of all, fluoride is usually a bad ingredient to use. Fluoride's a neurotoxin, and it actually inside your tooth, it actually replaces the minerals. Your mineral content in your enamel is about 96%. And inside your enamel, you have your dentin. The dentin is softer, and it's made to be softer so that it can kind of impact, like it's like the cushion area. It also has anti-inflammatory and antibacterial type properties in it to keep your tooth healthy and clean. But it does have minerals in it as well. So one of the problems with fluoride is that when you start to have breakdown in your enamel, the whole idea behind fluoride was it was going to make your tooth stronger and cavity resistant. Unfortunately, it replaces those minerals. It kind of kicks those minerals out of your tooth and takes the spot of those minerals, and it's not really making your tooth stronger. If it was, our dental health, we wouldn't be talking. Like you and I wouldn't be talking, because dental health would be, it wouldn't even be an issue. But the problem is it doesn't make dental health any better. It doesn't make your teeth cavity resistant. In fact, since we've had fluoride in our water and our toothpaste and foods, our dental health has declined. And along with the decline in dental health is the decline in internal health. I mean, it just, it totally follows.
The fluoride kicks off the iodine from our thyroid hormone. And so no surprise that thyroid disease is rampant. We have fluorinated water and toothpaste, and we get fluoride treatments at the dentist. So we're inundated with fluoride as well as other halides that are in that group, like bromine and chlorine, that kick the iodine off and cause thyroid problems. So part of healing, if you're listening and you have a thyroid problem, is detoxifying from those halides, including fluoride.
Absolutely. The other thing fluoride does, for anybody that's using a deodorant that is an antiperspirant that contains aluminum, this will blow your mind. I think this is like death by design. Like I believe that like the industry out there isn't out to save us. They're literally out there to make us need medications and have issues and things like that. So death by design. So the fluoride in your toothpaste actually is one of the gatekeepers to your brain, and it actually opens the gate for aluminum to enter your brain. So that aluminum has been found to be in the brains of patients that have Alzheimer's. They found aluminum from deodorants, antiperspirants. Aluminum, and this is just off topic, but it plugs your sweat glands. It prevents you from sweating, and you don't want to do that. So fluoride just opens the gateway for that to happen inside. But they've also found in the brains of Alzheimer's, which is interesting, the same bacteria that causes gingivitis and cavities, they've also found that bacteria inside the brains of people with dementia and Alzheimer's. So it's really scary. So some of the other ingredients to look for that you want to avoid in toothpaste include SLS, which is sodium lauryl sulfate. It kills all of your good bacteria inside your mouth. That's the bad thing inside your mouth. Inside your body, it also can cause cancer and endocrine disruption and things like that. So inside, and it does get in, your gums are very, very vascular, and any breakdown of your gum tissue, swelling gums, redness, bleeding is I call it leaky gum. We all know what leaky gut syndrome is. It starts inside your mouth as leaky gum syndrome. There's a triad. There's a triad of leaky gum on the bottom of the triangle, and on the pillars going up, because it leads to both, is leaky gut syndrome and leaky brain syndrome. So those are the three things that can happen, but at the base of that is your leaky gums. So you want to make sure that your gum tissue is healthy, and SLS will break down your gum tissue. It kind of destroys it because it causes more of an acidic environment inside your mouth and kills all of your good protective bacteria.
What else don't you want in your toothpaste?
You don't want glycerin. Glycerin is found not just in harmful, like what I call toxic paste, but also natural toothpaste also put glycerin in. A lot of them do. Glycerin causes a coating. So for those viewers that can see, I'm going to hold this up, but I'll describe it. So this is a tooth with, you can see a cavity in here, but glycerin is like I call it like a saran wrap. It puts a Band-Aid or a saran wrap coating all over your enamel so that minerals cannot get in. One of the reasons that they do that is so that, because a lot of people have sensitive teeth, they don't want to feel the sensitivities to hot and cold foods, to acidic foods. There's a lot of things that can cause those teeth to go, ooh. And when you have a sensitive tooth, it's a signal to your body that you're losing more minerals that you're replacing. It's demineralized your enamel. And it's now getting to the point where your dentin, which is where your nerves are located inside the dentin, which is in the pulp. That's when you start to feel it, when it starts to wear so thin and the holes are deep enough that it gets towards your dentin. So glycerin puts that saran wrap coating on your tooth so that you can't, even if you have minerals inside your mouth, here's another point you need to understand, you cannot remineralize your mouth by taking any kind of supplement. This has to happen inside your mouth. So it's either through your saliva, because your saliva has minerals in it. Indirectly, you can take a supplement to increase your mineral content, but the supplement goes into your body and then comes back out. The minerals will be put into your saliva. Anybody with digestive issues like Crohn's, colitis, leaky gut, you don't absorb the minerals from your foods and your vitamins nearly as well. So if you have any digestive issues, most likely your saliva is lacking mineral content as well. So the minerals in your saliva, your food, or if you have, the key is brushing your teeth with something that has minerals in it. So those are the three ways that you can actually put minerals back in your teeth. Artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, those are other ingredients. in toothpaste that none of them are doing you any good. They're literally, if I were to read the back of the ingredient list, not one ingredient in here actually is putting minerals in your teeth and creating an alkaline environment so you can actually, when you do eat, have minerals put back into your teeth.
So now let's talk about what do you use to actually alkalinize and promote the healthy bacteria?
So let me give you guys really quick, and I'll because this will help explain that. So the formula for a cavity, this is the formula for creating cavities and gum disease, which then leads to internal inflammation, heart disease, gut issues, things like that. The formula for a cavity is bad biome or bad microbacteria inside your mouth. And by that, I mean, most of the times it's like Streptococcus mutans, lactobacilli. There's a bunch of different bad bacteria that causes gingivitis and cavities, but those are the types of bacteria. Also, H. pylori and E. coli all start inside your mouth. So think about that. That's where you're exposed to it. That's where your defense against it is supposed to be. The problem is when we kill all of our good bacteria, we swallow that H. pylori and E. coli because we can't neutralize it. We can't kill it. So we swallow it into our stomach, which is very acidic. It loves an acidic environment. It multiplies, it lives, it goes into your small intestine, and your small intestine doesn't have any defense against it. So if we can kill it inside your mouth, that's the best bet. So bad bacteria plus sugar or carbohydrates, those come from your diet. And those two things inside your mouth creates a lactic acid. The acidic environment then causes plaque buildup, which is basically a biofilm created over the bad bacteria, as well as demineralization where the minerals leave your teeth. All of that sets you up for chronic internal inflammation and poor oral health. The first sign that anything is happening inside your mouth that's not good is bad breath, mainly because bad breath is an imbalance between good bacteria and bad bacteria inside your mouth. Good bacteria will not necessarily cause you to have bad breath. So if you have bad breath, there's an imbalance and you know that you're on your way to other issues that can lead to long-term health issues. So let's go back to that formula really quick because I want to break it down. There's two things that you can change. I do not believe sugar and starch is something we take out of that equation. I believe even if you're a healthy eater, you are always exposed to sugar or starches in some form. So that stays. I believe it's important to cut down on sugar and bad starches, but we can't cut that out. Let's be realistic. We can't cut that out. So we need to work with that in the formula.
Sugars and starches, we have to have it to live.
Right.
So we're going to consume some degree of it.
Right. Just you want to make sure it's healthy as much as possible. But I want people to understand, I'm not here to tell you get rid of all sugar. That's the way to cure your health. That's not realistic. So let's work with the reality that we've got. So sugars and starches stay in the equation. The other two things of the equation are the bad bacteria and the lactic acid. Watch this. If you get rid of the bad bacteria, most likely your mouth is alkaline, because bad bacteria lives in an acidic environment. So if you have healthy bacteria, you will most likely then also have an alkaline mouth for the most part, other than when you do eat foods that are more acidic. However, if you are creating this health, then you are producing good saliva, which has a pH of 6 to 7. And one of the functions...
Saliva pH, if you're listening. So if you want to know where you are, you can buy paper at the drugstore and just check your saliva.
Yeah, good idea. And it will help to neutralize your acids in your mouth when you eat. That's one of the functions it does. It does that for two reasons, because it needs to not get rid of the bad bacteria, neutralize the acid, and also to cleanse your tooth and then put those minerals from the saliva when it's alkaline, because that's the only time you can alkaline or remineralize your teeth is during an alkaline situation. So it's alkalizing your mouth so that you can put the minerals back in your teeth. But if you've got that glycerin coating on, all of this stuff kind of goes to the wayside and nothing's happening inside your mouth. So what I have created. And what I suggest you start looking for in any toothpaste or tooth powder. I make a powder right now. I'll probably make a paste at some point, but the powder for me is so important because it's completely concentrated with the mineral content that you need. You don't necessarily need any fillers. So it's got 3 different clays. For anybody that can see this, this is my Dirty Mouth tooth powder. And I'll open it up so people can see it that's viewing this. It's really just a clay. And it's made with 3 different clays. And it's got white kaolin, it's got bentonite clay, and French green clay. They all have a high mineral content, which is the same minerals in the ion form, which is really important. Your teeth need minerals in the ion form to be reabsorbed. Clay is alkalizing. It will neutralize the acids. It's creating that environment inside your mouth where the minerals that are in the clay can actually then go right into your teeth. This is why it works like a charm. It also gently cleans your teeth and removes surface stains. So it's also going to be whitening your teeth. Also, your enamel, for those people that can see, I'm holding up the tooth, the inside of your tooth looks like this. The outer part of your tooth is your enamel. It's the thickest and hardest part, but it wears down as we age if we're not, especially if we're not replacing the minerals. So what happens, like I said before, is you start to get sensitive teeth, but what else happens is you start to be able to see your dentin, which is the next layer of your tooth, through your tooth. Your tooth becomes so thin, it starts to look yellow or blue. And that's because your dentin is actually, for most people, it's either a yellowish color, a grayish color, or a bluish color. So in order to have whiter teeth, you just need to also rebuild your enamel, which is one of the things that the Dirty Mouth tooth powder will do. It will help to rebuild your enamel. The other thing that clay does, and this is why for me it's the perfect medium for cleaning your mouth, it actually is a mouth cleanse. Clay detoxifies your mouth. When we talk about, I know one of the things that you said was things can pass to babies through the placenta, toxins and things like that. We are exposed to heavy metals, we're exposed to toxins, chemicals, hormones, all of those things inside of our mouth. And our gum tissues are very vascular and hold on to those things. Clay binds very strongly. Clay has a negative charge and toxins have a positive charge. When they bind, it's a strong ionic bond that they don't let go, and clay can pull those out of your tissue. So you can actually pull heavy metals and toxins and things out of your gum tissue. And that actually
use it on the skin in different conditions to pull. I mean, if you think about it, people listening have probably heard about clay baths for thousands of years have been used to pull toxins out.
And as well as an internal cleanse. I do an internal cleanse with, it's got to be food grade, and all of my clays are food grade that's in the tooth powder. So children can use it, and if they swallow it, it's fine. The people swallow clay as long as it's food grade to do the same thing. That's your outside, that's your, and I love, by the way, Dr. Kieran, that you said that. Nobody else, everybody looks at me like I've got 3 heads when I say that. And you were like, yes, that the whole tube is outside.
Make sure everybody listening, food grade clay. Do not go to the art store and buy a lump of clay and eat it. Do not do that.
No, don't do that. Food grade clay has just been processed to remove most impurities. So food grade clay, it's about a tablespoon in about a half a cup or a cup of water. Mix it in. You can drink it. Just don't take it like 2 hours before or after medications because it will bind to everything. But it will pull toxins from your whole digestive system all the way out and help purify and clean you out. But
while we're on that topic, I know you have so much information. What about activated charcoal? Because sometimes we use that internally for detox too, because it binds things, and now they're using it for toothbrushing.
Yeah, so activated charcoal is awesome. I make a formula, it's black formula. The black formula has the same content of clay, has the 3 different clays in it, which is the important thing. Activated charcoal is great for cleaning your teeth and your mouth because it detoxifies and it helps to remove those surface stains off your teeth. Here's the key. If you brush with an activated charcoal product, make sure it's not straight charcoal. And it's not that charcoal is abrasive, because it's really not. The problem is it doesn't have the minerals in it. There's no minerals in it to replace the minerals in your teeth. So it's a great whitener, but I put it right in the tooth powder. So you're actually getting the benefit of the charcoal detoxing and whitening, plus you're getting the benefit of the different clays that have the minerals in it to remineralize your teeth and alkalize your mouth and everything.
And baking soda. People say, "Oh no, I just brush with baking soda." You hear that all the time.
So baking soda, here's my thing. People that run out of the tooth powder before their order comes in, or this has happened too, people travel and they forget to pack their tooth powder and they're like, "Oh no, I have to go buy toothpaste." And I say, no, you don't. No, you don't. Here, most hotels have a kitchen. Call down and ask for a tablespoon of baking soda. That's all you need. Just brush your teeth with the So baking soda is non-abrasive. It's alkalizing. In a pinch, and even today, anybody that wants to start on a better program and goes home and goes, "Oh my God, I'm brushing with Toxipaste." So what you can do is brush with some baking soda. You just can't brush long term. So make sure you order either your Dirty Mouth tooth powder or find something that has the clay in it, because you can brush with it for a couple days and it's actually going to alkalize your mouth. It's going to help regrow your good bacteria, but it just doesn't have the minerals. It's not a long-term toothpaste. It's not a long-term solution for brushing your teeth because it's not going to promote the remineralization of your teeth. You want your teeth to be super strong, super healthy. And the way to do that is to put the minerals back in. So both charcoal and baking soda can be used in a pinch, but they should not be used alone long-term. They should be mixed with clay. And that's what I did. Both of those products or ingredients. Baking soda is really good. It's alkalizing. It's in my Dirty Mouth tooth powder. And all the formulas, and then the charcoal's in the black formula of tooth powder.
Say I've been using my Toxipaste and I love what I'm hearing and I want to rehab my oral health because I get that it's the gateway to my immune system. I want to remineralize. I've been using the sensitive toothpaste. I get what you're saying, Trina, about all of these issues. Where do I start and how long is it going to take me because I get really sensitive, right?
Oh yeah, the sensitivity. So here's what I usually say. It takes approximately 3 days. Let me grab my, so when you're using products, and this goes to anybody that can see me, you know I'm going to be holding, you'll probably recognize this. Let me put it where you can see it. So anybody that can see me, I'm holding up a bottle of a well-known brand of mouthwash that says kills 99% of your germs. Toothpaste basically does the same thing. They always say how it kills germs and cleans out your mouth. The problem, and the reason I say the antiseptic products inside are doing more harm than good, is because it's not just killing bad bacteria. We have to make the switch in our brains to think all bacteria is not bad. We've sort of been raised to believe that all bacteria is bad, but we need our good microbiome. It takes probably about 2 to 3 days to kill or sterilize your mouth when you're brushing your teeth twice a day. It takes probably 2 or 3 days to really destroy the good microbiome inside your mouth and create that environment that is conducive for demineralization and cavities and plaque that leads to further health disease. Here's the good thing. Your body was designed to protect you. So it takes probably 3 days to rebuild a good baseline microbiome inside your mouth if you ditch that stuff. So you really it's an all or nothing thing. You can't brush with Dirty Mouth tooth powder and swish your mouth with something that kills all the bacteria. It doesn't do you any good. You can't brush with a good tooth powder. I know there's probiotic washes. People ask me about probiotic washes, rinses for their mouth. It's useless to brush with a Toxipaste and then use a probiotic wash. There's no point. You're wasting your money. I am a firm believer, I've read the literature, I'm a firm believer that you really do, if you take the good care of your mouth and your digestive system, you truly do not need probiotics because your body creates the bacteria that it needs. And that is more beneficial for you than putting other bacteria inside your body to try and recreate what your body needs. But you cannot be destroying the bacteria inside your mouth. Remember, everything inside your mouth gets swallowed, regardless of whether it's with food, drink or your saliva. So if you're swallowing bad bacteria, you're creating a full tube of bad bacteria. If you're swallowing good bacteria because you've created an alkaline environment, then you're creating the whole tube of good bacteria. So it's really about the start of your digestion of your immune system inside your mouth. So so it really only takes about 3 days to start to rebuild your biome. It really only takes about 2 to 3 brushings. So here's the thing. If you are someone who has sensitive teeth, and you might not know that you have sensitive teeth, because if you've been brushing with Toxapaste and it has glycerin, it might be just hiding that fact from you. But if you start to brush with Dirty Mouth tooth powder, it's going to effectively remove that glycerin barrier on your tooth. What will happen most likely is it will increase the sensitivity to your teeth for about 2 to 3 brushings. So what I usually tell people to do is brush 3 times a day if you can initially for 2 to 3 days. Usually within 2 days to 3 days, people's teeth are stronger and less sensitive than they were even with the glycerin coating on them. So it doesn't take long. You really just, it's all about the environment. If you have the right environment inside your mouth, healing will happen.
Yeah, it's such a shame that bacteria have become the enemy. I mean, we have the hand sanitizers, and I know some people who are crazy with the hand sanitizer, and disinfectants in our home, and the antibacterial mouthwash. And we just have made bacteria the enemy, but we cannot live without them. And the majority of them are good for us and healthy, and we're actually creating an epidemic of these superbugs that are resistant to antibiotics because we're getting rid of all the good bugs. And if we would just foster the good bugs, then we probably wouldn't have the issues with MRSA and things like that. So if you're listening, I think I did an episode on a little YouTube video about triclosan and the hand sanitizers. You got to get rid of that right now. Just go throw it out. It's horrible.
And I forgot to mention with the toothpaste has triclosan in it too. And they have done studies. Now it's interesting to me that they didn't do the study inside the mouth. They actually did the study inside the intestines to find out what it did to the gut flora. And it actually, because you swallow, even if you don't think you're swallowing your toothpaste, you are swallowing a little bit. And the triclosan was killing the bacteria, the good bacteria inside the gut, and leading to chronic inflammation, Crohn's, and even colon cancer. So if you're putting it full force, think about the amount that you probably swallow versus the amount that's inside your mouth when you're brushing. You're just destroying all of your good bacteria inside your mouth. You're sterilizing your immune system from the very get-go. And that just needs to be thrown. That needs to be tossed. I agree. You need to have bugs. You need to be exposed to bad bugs to create your good bugs, right?
Yeah, and so go check your toothpaste. If you have triclosan in it, throw it out immediately, and start using baking soda till you can get Trina's products. Just throw it out. And really, as I talk with people about the different levels and layers to creating brilliant health, for me, hormone balance is the bottom, and a lot of these toxins interfere with hormone balance. We talked a little bit about how the fluoride interferes with the thyroid, and there are others, but that next level is toxicity and inflammation in the body, and where most people get that from is the gastrointestinal tract, all the way from, like you say, tongue to tail, top to bottom. Along that path, there's lots of reason for inflammation. And people will say, well, I go to the dentist twice a year and I get my cleaning and I brush twice a day with a fluorinated toothpaste and I drink fluorinated water and my dentist says I'm good and I don't have gum disease. They may or may not floss, but it's so much deeper than that. You can do all of that and probably you still don't have optimal oral health. And if you want to create brilliant health for yourself, and if you're listening to this podcast, I know that's what you want a higher standard of care, then it all starts right here with your mouth.
And really to think about like changing your lifestyle, there's nothing that you need to do differently in your life. to create better health than just switch the product. Like, I'm not asking you to brush your teeth for 40 minutes every day. I'm not telling you to switch with olive oil or doing the oil cleanse. I can talk about that for a second, but I have a gum serum, which I highly recommend. The gum serum and the tooth powder. The gum serum actually is more like replacing the mouthwash part. It's for your gums. It's healthy. It has essential oils that speed wound healing or gum healing. It also decreases inflammation, increases blood flow, and helps support your healthy biome and helps reduce the buildup of plaque. So plaque loves to build itself between your gums and your teeth. So it will help to reestablish healthy gums like that. I also have an LED teeth whitener that's actually really amazing as a teeth whitener, but it does more than just whiten your teeth. It plugs into your cell phone. I can show the viewers that are watching and describe it to anyone that's listening. So it plugs right into your cell phone. It lights up with 4, let me see if I can get this where you can actually see the different colors. It has 4 red lights at the base of the LED, and it has blue lights, 12 blue lights top and bottom. And the red light is actually like red LED light that people use for their skin. I have a red LED light at home, decreases inflammation, increases collagen production, and increases blood flow. It's really, really healing. So when we created the LED teeth whitener for the gum or the teeth, I wanted something that is gonna also heal the gums. If you don't have good gum tissue, that's the supporting structure of your teeth as well as your bone tissue. That's the gateway to your bone tissue. So the LED lights, the 4 LED lights are actually for your gum tissue. The blue lights are to help whiten your teeth. So they're set at the right frequency that will whiten your teeth, but they also get rid of bad bacteria like the streptococcus mutans and the lactobacilli and the H. pylori and E. coli. So you only have to use this for about 20 minutes, and it plugs into your phone or your laptop. It's got USB ports, and you can do this for 20 minutes while you're doing other things. It comes with an activated charcoal gel. So my gel is peroxide free. Peroxide is destroys your enamel. It actually, when I showed the tooth earlier, the dentin is that part right below your enamel that is the discolored part. Like it's not discolored for it, but for you to see it, it's more of that opaque bluish or grayish color, but that has fluid in it. Peroxide actually goes through your enamel and dehydrates your dentin. That's why your teeth look whiter, because it's making your dentin look whiter. It's not rebuilding your enamel, and it's not really doing anything. It's harmful to your nerves. That's why it hurts. Peroxide hurts. It's right there by your pulp that has your nerves and your blood vessels. And when you swallow it or it gets on your gum tissue, it destroys your gum tissue, creates that acidic environment, but it can cause like the microburns. So what I did was created the gel that is going to do more than whiten your teeth. It's going to remove surface stains, but it has clay in it. So it's going to actually rebuild your enamel, the whitest part of your tooth. It has charcoal in it that's going to help remove surface stains and detoxify your mouth. And it also has the essential oils in it that help with your gums as well. So those are the different things that you can do for improving your overall health right through your gateway, your mouth.
Right. And Trina's going to send me that kit, she said. So
I am.
I can't do hydrogen peroxide tooth whitening. It's too sensitive, and as I'm understanding, really is harmful in the end because it's breaking it down. You have just been a wealth of information. I encourage everybody listening and watching to go to primallifeorganics.com, correct?
Correct.
And Trina has a special offer for you there. Do you want to tell them about it?
For the LED, I can, I'm going to offer 50% off the LED teeth whitening system, which is what I showed you with the LED. And
Right.
if you get the LED whitener, you can also get then you'll also be able to get the dental starter package. Otherwise, if you're more interested in the dental starter package, I can give you also a link for that as well, Dr. Kieran, that they can go and get $10 off the dental starter kit. And the dental starter kit comes with a mini tooth powder, which when you get it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is tiny. It's, let me see if I can grab one up here. So anybody can see me. This is the mini tooth powder. It's meant to last 60 brushings. So you only need a small amount. Let me show you guys really quick for anybody that's watching, because people are going to be like, how do I use tooth powder? It's really simple. So it'll also come with an activated charcoal brush. So this one's been used with dipping in, but it has charcoal that's infused right in the bristles to help remove plaque a little bit better, whiten your teeth a little bit better, and detoxify your gum tissues a little bit better. So all you do is wet your toothbrush, shake off the excess water, dip your brush. I usually tap it, and whatever is on your brush is all you need. And the people that can see this can see that there's really a dusting on your brush. That's all you need. You do not need a lot. And then you brush like you normally would for 2 minutes, and then you can spit it out. I do recommend spitting. As I said earlier, this is safe to swallow for kids, but adults, I do recommend spitting, because spitting, the clay binds to toxins so well that you'd rather spit those out than swallow them. But if you do swallow any of it, unlike the triclosan and toxapaste, it is safe to swallow.
Awesome. So we'll put the links in the show notes so you can check out the teeth whitener. That's at naturalteethwhiteners.com, but we'll put the link, and we'll also put it for the dental starter kit. She has a special $10 off. If you're listening, you want to do this. You want to improve your health. You want to change what you are doing with your oral hygiene. We're going to have Trina back to talk about skincare, because she's such a wealth of information. She gives practical tips that people can use, things that you need to do today. And so we're going to have a whole nother episode with her talking about skin, and actually we've just touched on oral and gastrointestinal. There's so much more to say. So I'm going to encourage you to go to her website, look into her products, look at all the information that she offers, because she really is one of the people out there who's doing it right by educating. She's not just telling you, do this because I think it's better. She's educating you on why. And that's why I love thinking intelligent clients like are in my tribe, because that's why they're here. They want to know and understand so they can make educated choices for themselves. So you've given a lot of materials, and I thank you. I'd like you to leave everyone top 3 things they could do starting today to improve their oral health. What would they be?
So first of all, obviously you want to ditch the toxapaste and any oral care products that are harmful, like the mouthwashes. Mouthwashes typically are not good. They contain alcohols and things like that. So I would ditch that and move to a dirty mouth tooth powder and the gum serum at a minimum, or something comparable. So you can look at the website, you can look at the ingredients, the clays. You want something that has clay in it. It's going to remineralize your teeth. Some products out there have just calcium. That's not the only mineral in your tooth. So I highly recommend a clay-based, mainly because of that. It's also alkalizing. Drink plenty of water, because water is also going to improve your hydration status. It's going to help to neutralize the acids as well as wash and rinse your teeth. So that would be tip number 2. And tip number 3, let me think. Let's see. What can I say for tip number 3? Tip number 3 for improving your oral health would be to, after you eat anything, just do a quick rinse of your mouth with even just water. That's really all you need, because rinsing your mouth with water is going to remove the acids. You want to eat more alkaline foods, but sometimes that's difficult because we don't realize it, but most foods are actually acidic in nature. So you just want to regrow. And if you've got bad breath, we can fix that. And I want to just give an intro to what we're going to talk about on skin, because if you think this was interesting, I've got a lot to say about skincare. I'm 50 years old right now, and my skin has never looked better being 50 years old. Even when I was 30, I had a face full of acne. But I'm going to tell you right now that the #1 toxic ingredient in skincare will blow your mind, because most people don't even realize. So I don't know whether I should lead in with what it is or make them wait.
We'll leave it, but I can't believe you're 50. I am absolutely amazed. Your skin is absolutely gorgeous. And you really exemplify what the podcast is all about, Her Brilliant Health. And I'd love it if you could share with everyone what that means to you. What is Her Brilliant Health?
So I think that it'll sum up a lot of what we talked about, Her Brilliant Health. So, it kind of goes with your podcast theme. I say, balance builds beauty. And that's my theme. Balance builds beauty. And when I talk about balance, it's balance of everything, but it starts with your microbiome. Biome builds beauty is my other way of saying that. Balance of your microbiome. And we talked about how that's everything on your outside is protected by a biome. If you're out of balance of your biome, this goes for skin, this goes for mouth, this goes for in your intestine, or, all the way through, then it affects everything else, including your beauty and including your brains.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Trina. Thank you for your journey and what led you to discover the things you did and to share them in the way that you are. This is extremely important work that you're doing. Thank you for developing the products, because you're not going to see it from Johnson & Johnson.
You're welcome, Dr. Karen. And I can't wait to talk to you again, and everybody. So thank you for listening and having me on here.
Yes, and can't wait to hear about skincare. If you're listening, make sure you stay tuned for the skincare episode, because you're going to learn exactly about the toxins that are in your skincare products and cosmetics and toiletries that you're using, and what to switch them out for so you can continue to move towards brilliant health. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Her Brilliant Health Radio. Hopefully you're inspired to take action on some new information you received today. A step towards the bountiful, blissful, beautiful vitality that you deserve. If you have health topics and questions you'd like addressed, please message me on my Facebook page or visit KieranDunstonMD.com and let me know. I'd love to help. Remember to share this podcast on social media and send it to your friends and family who could benefit from it too. If you love the show, please go right now to iTunes, write a review, and make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you'll be the first to know when future episodes are available. Thank you again for joining me, and remember, achieving optimal health isn't magic, it's science.